Welcome to this explainer. We're going to unpack a massive, multi-billion-dollar paradigm shift that's literally happening right under our noses. Look, for the last few years, we've focused almost entirely on making better electric vehicles, right? But suddenly, we're hitting this invisible infrastructure wall that's actively threatening to throttle the entire EV boom. So what's the solution? Well, we're witnessing a radical transition from fixed grid stations to mobile, on-demand power. Mobile power is stepping up as the unexpected hero here, and it's a fascinating structural change. Let's break down exactly how it all works. Let's just dive right in with a question that totally flips the script on a century of driving. What if the gas station actually came to you? Seriously, think about it. We don't expect our smartphones to stay plugged into a wall all day just to work, right? So why on earth do we expect our multi-ton vehicles to constantly orbit around stationary plugs? In a fully electrified world, what if the power actually found the vehicle instead of the other way around?
Section 1. The EV Takeover, Sweeping the Streets.
Now, to understand why this charging model is changing so fast, we gotta look at the explosive demand for EVs. When the 2026 AAA car guide dropped, it was a huge wake-up call. Electric and hybrid vehicles completely swept every single major category. No joke. The Lucid Gravity Touring took overall and midsize SUV, Volkswagen's reimagined ID. Buzz Pro S Plus claimed minivan, and the Hyundai Ioniq 5N grabbed small SUV. Even the small car category went to the Honda Civic Hybrid. So this isn't just a niche market for early adopters anymore. The shift is fully underway across every conceivable vehicle type. And the driving force here isn't just environmental, it's pure economics. According to AAA, the annual cost to own and operate a new vehicle dropped to exactly $11,577. That's a huge drop, over $700 from previous years. When you combine an extra $700 in your pocket with the ability to completely ignore those crazy fluctuations in gas prices, making the switch to an EV becomes incredibly appealing for the average household. The economic case is pretty much closed at this point.
Section 2. The Grid Bottleneck, Waiting for Power. Okay, so the cars are ready, drivers are ready, but here's the hidden crisis. Our physical electrical grid is acting as a massive, immovable bottleneck. Imagine you own a delivery fleet. You go green, swap out your gas vans for EVs, and suddenly you need 1 megawatt of power to charge them all overnight. You call up the utility company, super excited, and they tell you there's a 4-year wait time just to upgrade the local substation to handle that load. 4 years. Business moves way too fast to wait half a decade just for a plug, right? And this massive delay creates what the industry calls grid deserts. These are literal locations completely lacking the 480-volt utility power you need for fast charging. And no, getting 480-volt power isn't just flipping a switch. It takes massive transformers and heavy-duty trenching through solid concrete. Whether it's a rural highway where an EV driver is stranded or a bustling urban delivery depot, these grid deserts are leaving fleet managers stressed out and everyday people literally stuck in their tracks.
Section 3. The Mobile Charging Solution. Power off the grid. So if the grid is too slow, wrapped in red tape, and crazy expensive to upgrade, what if the charger didn't need the grid at all? Enter modular charging. This is a brilliant hardware innovation designed to just bypass those utility wait times entirely. Think of it like Lego blocks, but for the power grid. Because it's decentralized, using adaptable, battery-powered or towable formats, you literally just drop the power exactly where you need it. You bypass the utility companies entirely and bring power directly to those grid deserts on day one. A perfect example of this is a company called Charge Rigs. They build the Flex system, which is essentially just a massive, high-powered battery on wheels. It's a portable DC fast charger you could tow out to a music festival for instant off-grid power. Then, on the flip side, they have their Omega system. That's a highly cost-effective, permanent fast charger for when the grid is finally available at a depot. Giving fleets the power to use these mobile stopgaps while waiting on permanent infrastructure, that is the ultimate flexibility. But let's be totally real for a second. Hardware is expensive. A hotel owner might want EV chargers for their guests, but they definitely do not want to drop $100,000 digging up their pristine parking lot. To scale quickly, the industry is pivoting to a charging as a service model, or CaaS. Take Quick EV. They offer a turnkey solution that bundles the hardware, software, installation, and maintenance with zero upfront capital cost for businesses. It completely removes the financial barrier for cities, retail centers, and hotels. Now, behind all this heavy hardware is some incredibly smart software, like GenIQ Smart Load Management. Rather than just plugging a dozen vans in and praying you don't blow a fuse, this tech assesses the existing electrical panel in real time.
Then it intelligently distributes the available power across multiple chargers. So if a depot has limited capacity, GenIQ automatically balances the draw. It lets a fleet maximize their charging stations without ever triggering those multi-year, hugely expensive utility upgrades we talked about.
Tying this whole ecosystem together is the cloud-based software layer, like a platform called Asinio. It makes sure these complex networks of off-grid and on-grid chargers stay visible, monitored, and profitable. It handles load balancing and billing across any Open Charge Point Protocol, or OCCP, compliant charger. Basically, OCCP is the universal language of the EV world. It lets different brands of chargers talk to each other seamlessly, so fleet managers don't pull their hair out dealing with a fragmented software experience.
Section 4, Power in Motion, the B-Charge EV application. Now let's look at a real-world application of this with a trailblazing company called B-Charge EV. They have this amazing quote, "We did not join the charging industry, we rebuilt it in motion." I absolutely love that because it perfectly captures their audacity. Founder Anthony Okuri-Badeau and his team basically looked at the static charging industry, said nope, drivers shouldn't have to hunt for power, and just put fast chargers on wheels. They realized charging isn't just a real estate game anymore, it's a logistics business. You don't need a tow truck, you just need the charge brought right to you. And they are moving at lightning speed. The vision started back in 2021 down in Mexico City, which was actually a brilliant way to stress test the model in a huge, highly complex urban grid. By 2024, they were actively refining their mobile service. Now, looking at 2025, they're expanding their 24/7 on-demand emergency and fleet services across all 50 U.S. states. And by 2026, they'll circle back for the official launch of B-Charge worldwide in Mexico City. Just massive momentum. This vision is backed by serious capital, too. They've secured $7 million in funding. But what's actually important is where that money is going. Over $3 million of it is being directly invested into physical equipment, like those Flex 200 mobile DC fast chargers. They aren't just selling some vaporware idea. They are putting real, tangible iron on the road.
The real proof is in who they're working with. B-Charge EV secured a major partnership with AAA. Just think about that. If you ran out of gas back in the day, AAA brought you a jerry can. Now, they're bringing you a Level 3 mobile fast charger. They're deploying this in major hubs from California to Miami. Add in commercial fleet partnerships with ZM Trucks and working with top developers in Mexico City to fix urban infrastructure gaps. I mean, it's pretty clear the biggest institutional players know that mobile is the future. Section 5, Charging the Future, Breaking the Limits of Location.
Let's zoom out, because this goes way beyond just rescuing a stranded driver. Since this tech is genuinely mobile, the everyday use cases are blowing up. Picture a film set. Instead of a noisy, smelly diesel generator ruining a take, you get completely silent, mobile EV battery power. Or think about disaster response. When a hurricane knocks out the grid, these units roll in to keep emergency fleets moving. It's powering remote construction sites deep in the mountains with zero emissions. And for rideshare drivers in crowded cities, instead of waiting in line at a station and losing money, they tap an app, eat lunch, and the power comes to them.
So I'll leave you with this provocative thought to wrap up our explainer today. For over a century, our entire transportation model has been totally dependent on driving our vehicles to the energy source. But as we shift to a world where the energy source autonomously comes to us, what does the true limitless future of transportation look like? If the power can find the vehicle, are there literally any limits left for electric mobility? When the grid is no longer a boundary, neither is the destination. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive.